Welcome back, Phillies fans. We are at the end of the regular season, 2021. As you can see, the Phillies went 99-63, which was the third most wins in the major leagues. Unfortunately, we played in a division with a team that had the second most wins, the New York Mets. So we're in the wild card game against the Atlanta Braves, who finished 8 games back. And I'm one season in, and I already want to restructure the league to not have the one-game wild card with the third best team in the league potentially out in a one-game wild card. Not just because it's me. I mean, a little bit because it's my team. But that's a discussion for another day. And so 99 wins. And yes, we were a bit lucky in terms of what our run expectancy would think. So we were plus 82 run differential, which put us at a Pythagorean of 89-73. But extra inning games were 15-3. One-run games 34-19. Some luck involved there. We also had one of the better bullpens in the league, so that plays into it. But certainly we were very fortunate in close games, and that helped us exceed our Pythagorean wins. So I'm going to show you the Phillies, also show you around the league some and how that went, just in terms of the info. So you can see we were 20-8 in August after the trade deadline the last time we updated. Then we went 16-11 and then 3-0 in October. We finished middle of the road in most offensive stats, about where we were. 7th in runs scored. We were 3rd in hits, but only 10th in extra base hits. I might turn the home runs back up and just have Citizen Bank be the home run friendly ballpark it is, because this seemed to bring it down more than I expected it to. And on the other side of things, our ERA got all the way to 4th, thanks in large part to a bullpen ERA that ended up 1st in the NL. Starters ERA ended up 9th. We ended up middle of the road, 7th in NL in defensive efficiency and zone rating and BABIP. So a decent but not great defense. That'll definitely be something I'll be looking to improve during my time here in the front office in Philadelphia. And we do have a few injuries, which was not something we dealt with too much during the season. But McCutchen has missed about a little over a month, and he's out for another 8 weeks with a concussion, which is really a bummer because he was playing really well for us. A 126 WRC plus. He was having a really good season. Torres, plantar fasciitis, and he was having a nice season too off the bench. 316 plate appearances, a 116 WRC plus. Was a great bat off the bench for us. Kinsler was hurt early, and then Zach Eflin, who was pitching well for us, but he went out with a strained shoulder. He's back in 2 days, so I guess he could be back if we make the ALDS without a rehab assignment. I don't know. I don't love that. So we've got those 3 guys out hurt. So we've got some guys called up. Let's look at the team and go ahead here. And let's go ahead and sort by WAR. So Gene Segura led the team with 4.4 WAR, 123 WRC plus. Just a great season from him as an age 31 second baseman. Bryce Harper got it together, 4.2 WAR, 120 WRC plus. The home runs weren't there, but pretty much everything else was. You can say the 4.2 WAR is 4th best in his career, behind obviously the 2015 and then 17 and 18. And 2020 was the shortened season. But he only ended up with 19 home runs, and 32 doubles is about normal. He struck out 23.2% of the time, a little above his career, and walked a little bit more than his career too. But his, his on base is 387 for his career and 386 this season. So not a huge difference there. And I mean, almost identical, but his slugging was obviously down. 503 career, 434 this year. So the home runs brought that down, but 4.2 WAR is a solid season from him. Obviously not an MVP caliber season that he's capable of, but considering the April and May that he had, he definitely bounced back nicely in the second half for us. And let's see, Lorenzo Cain, not all of those stats were with us, but he was so good for us. 57 games here at 2.2 WAR with a 133 WRC plus. He was a positive in the field for us in center field. Just a great acquisition there. Well, that makes it sound like I'm congratulating myself. He was a great player for us after we acquired him. And he's under contract for next year, and we're not paying him much. So he might be our center fielder at age 36. We'll see. Rhys Hoskins, a nice season, led the team in homers with 28. And a 130 WRC plus. Real Muto cooled off a bit, 111 WRC plus. Alec Boehm Not a breakout season from him, but a solid 2.4 WAR. Didi was disappointing with the bat, just an 89 WRC plus and 2 WAR for a guy who is not a glove for a shortstop, just not good enough from Didi. Jankowski was fine. Miller was league average as a backup. That's cool. Adam Hazley got the call after McCutchen went down. He got 106 plate appearances, put up a 109 WRC plus. Solid debut, and I think he's definitely in the mix for us next season. That one home run was a walk-off grand slam in the bottom of the ninth in some game in September, which was exciting. And then Nick Maton, former fake Orioles legend in my Out of the Park 21 sim, he came up when Torreyes went down, and he only got 3 pinch hit plate appearances. He struck out in 2 of them, so he's on the bench. And then Andrew Knapp was hitting much better for the middle of the season and then cooled off again. He certainly was not very good for us as our backup catcher, but that's okay. Pitching side of things, all Nola, man. 5.6 WAR, a 3.39 ERA, 3.35 FIP, a 21.8 strikeout to walk percentage. His record was 19-5, if you're into that kind of thing. He's going to get some Cy Young votes for sure. Eduardo was okay for us. Actually, he's pretty good. 72 and a third inning, 1.1 WAR, 3.98 ERA, 4.41 FIP. And Gossman was not as good. His in 72 and a third, he put up a 5.47 ERA. His FIP was 4.77, so he had some bad luck in there. But he was fine. He was fine. He got knocked around in a few starts, including those last 2, 6 earned runs in each of his last 2 starts. Brad Hand came over and was awesome for us. 27 and a third, 1.1 WAR, and he put up a 1.65 ERA and 1.86 FIP, so that worked out well. Wheeler was fine by FIP. His ERA was not as good at 5.30. Jose Alvarado was great for us out of the pen. And Velasquez was like up and down, but ending with a 5.43 ERA in 162 innings. Not ideal. And then Williams, Neris, Bard, Bradley, all part of the really good bullpen ERA. You can see they're all in the 2s and 3s. Matt Barnes, also solid. Coonrod and Chase Anderson were fine. Sir Anthony Dominguez made it back at the end of the season. He was out most of the season, but he made it back and pitched 7 2/3. He's a definite valuable bullpen piece for us moving forward next season. So let me just go ahead and show you around the league a little bit. You can see Cody Bellinger led the league with 52 homers, and Soto had 47. Only 4 guys crossed 40, which is fewer than I remember with my offense being set to 2016 in Out of the Park 21. Maybe I'll have to bump it up a little bit. I'd like to see a little bit more offense than that. But still, it's a 52 homers and 144 RBIs in terms of old school stats. Pretty good season from Bellinger. Tatis, his team didn't make the playoffs, but he put up 9.3 WAR to lead the league. No real Phillies on here except you can see Foolish Baseball legend Tim LaCastro led the league with 50 steals. But Harper finished second and Hoskins finished third in walks. Zach Eflin led the league in sacrifice. And that's pretty much the only Phillies offensive leaders are those 2 in walks. Nola cracked the leaderboard on a bunch of pitching stats. You see tied for the league in wins, 8th in ERA. Kershaw with a 2.40 ERA, 5.8 WAR to lead the league. Nola second at 5.6. Eduardo at 4.3. Of course, that wasn't all with us. And let's see, Nola 7th in the league with 215 strikeouts. First with a 5.8 strikeout to walk ratio. Aaron Nola was just awesome, and he's lined up to pitch the wild card. I made sure that we had him lined up to do that. Also led the league with 22 quality starts. So that is how the regular season wraps up. Certainly it went better than I thought it was going to, and some of that was luck, but 99 wins. I hope all of you out there in Philadelphia are happy with me. So we will go on to face the Braves, which is tomorrow. I need to set my postseason roster. I was asked if I'm going to be doing some live streams with this sim. The answer is yes, but not right now. With my Orioles sims, a lot of times in the playoffs and sometimes for opening day, I did live broadcasts of the games. A couple of reasons I'm not going to right now. One is since I started this sim so late, didn't start it until May. I want to catch up a little bit so I can get deeper into the sim, and taking the time to do the live broadcast and wait until I'm caught up with my recordings that I've released, all that. It takes more time to do that. And also, I don't necessarily have the time over the next several weeks to wait and do the live broadcast like that and the amount of time that takes. But yes, like as I get into this sim, I played my fake Orioles sim until like February, right? So if I play this one until next February, certainly we will be doing some live broadcasts, hopefully some World Series games. Now, if I get to the World Series this year, I'll probably go live, but I don't anticipate this team making that run. So I'm not going to do the wild card game live. That would be fun, but just time-wise right now, I'm not going to do it. So let's go ahead and hop ahead here and see how the Phillies fare in the 2021 MLB postseason. Well, we didn't get the job done in the wild card game. You can see here we lost 8-2 to the Braves. Disappointing. So we gave up 2 in the first. Nola gave up 2 in the first, just to show you what he did. He went 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned. One of those runs in the first inning was unearned. He walked 1, struck out 6. 3 of these 4 hits were in the first inning, and he had a guy reach on an error. So he got into trouble in the first, and then he cruised, but he threw a lot of pitches early, and he was up to bat in the bottom of the 5th, and he was pinch hit for it, 98 pitches, obviously. I didn't manage the substitutions for this game. If you watched my fake Orioles sim, I did a lot of times. In the postseason, I played out the games and did the substitutions. I watched the game, but I decided to let Joe Girardi have control. It was our first year together. I didn't want to step on his toes. And I'm not sure why I brought in Williams, who's like, 6th on my bullpen depth chart. But the story is the bullpen imploded late when we got close. Harper hit a home run in the 4th, and then the Braves scored 1 in the 7th to make it 3-1, and then Real Muto hit a home run to make it 3-2. And we had some hope, man. There was some juice, some energy in the crowd and the dugout, and then the Braves put up a 4 spot and then another one in the 9th. The bullpen just kind of fell apart, which had been really the strength of the club. Bradley struggled, Barnes struggled, Bard gave up another run once the game was really out of reach. We only had 4 hits. 2 of them were solo home runs, and that, just not enough. So yes, the one-game wildcard format annoys me, win or lose. And I'm actually thinking about restructuring the league. I think that might be something I throw out to my patrons to see, just to vote on maybe, because I don't know. I think there are better ways to do this than to have like the second and third best team in the league play in the first round. So I might restructure it. I think the one-game wildcard is fun. It's kind of fun, but I think there are better ways where you can try to determine who the best team is in the postseason. I mean, the real way is 162 games, but the postseason's fun, but I also want it to be less random, if that makes sense. It's always going to have a certain amount of randomness. So, and then just, let's see, let's go ahead and look at the postseason. So the Mariners went to 7 games in the ALCS. They lost, unfortunately, to the Yankees, who then went on to lose to the Dodgers in 7 games. So probably a ratings bonanza here for MLB. New York versus LA went 7 games. And so the Braves lost to the Dodgers. They took the Dodgers to 5 games after they beat us, but couldn't pull it out. But yeah, Dodgers over Yankees in the 2021 World Series and in 7 games. And so that's a wrap on the 2021 season. My next video is actually really always my favorite one to film each year, and that's an off-season planning one, where I'm just going to kind of talk through the roster, talk through what I'm going to try to do in the postseason, go over each position, and maybe show you some trades I'm thinking of, free agents I'm thinking of targeting, who will be back, who won't be back. So that'll be the next video, and like I said, that's the off-season's my favorite part, and kind of mapping out the off-season is a lot of fun for me, so looking forward to recording that video. But that's the end of the Phillies. 99 wins, a loss in the NL wildcard game. All in all, I'll take this season as a first season. Of course, we are an older team with a bad farm system, so we've got some challenges ahead, but I'm looking forward to it. This will be fun. And thanks for watching, and we'll be back to talk about the off season with the next one.